Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everybody. Welcome to Phoenix Trading Strategies. Today is still February 4th, 2015, 11:32 p.m. Pacific. My name is Ricardo. I want to welcome you today to Phoenix Trading Strategies live trading room. We're going to be actually looking for live trades on the live edge of the market. For those of you that have never been here to our website before or joined us before, welcome for the first time. I invite you to take a look at our website. The homepage is very interesting. You can look at our blog. Now go to that real quickly and explain basically what you can look at. We have videos, latest trades, trading videos when you go to blog. All very good information that you'll need to assess whether this is for you, whether trading is for you. Indicators, you can hit a picture of each indicator and it will tell you a story behind how the indicator works. The volume and the Phoenix Power Dots are our main indicators here. There's an About Us page. The About Us page is pretty much about my journey, your journey, and the secrets that I discovered as a broker behind the scenes that are never really exposed to the retail trader. Today we're going to expose them. And finally, this disclaimer. I'll read this to you so we don't have any issues. Disclaimer. Future stocks and spot currency trading have large potential risk rewards but also large potential risk. You must be aware of the risk and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the future stocks and forex markets. Don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. This website is neither a solicitation nor an offer to buy, sell future stocks or forex. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those discussed on this website. Past performance of indicators or methodology are not necessarily indicative of future results. Being that said and done, once again, welcome to Phoenix Trading Strategies. First thing we're going to do is, forgive me for taking such deep breaths, but just had my coffee. First thing that we're going to do is, I like to look at the news real quickly and see what news events we're going to have. Now, we just had German factory reorders that were released literally a half hour ago. The numbers came out very positively, 4.2%. They were expecting a positive number, but came out a little less. Within the next 20 minutes, we should have HPI numbers from the UK, and then by 4:10 a.m. Eastern Time, retail PMI. Then finally at 2 a.m. we should, or 5 a.m. Eastern, we should have a European Union economic forecast. Now, and French 10-year bond auction. Now, we just had right now an announcement which could throw the trade off completely, where basically the European Central Bank is not going to allow any more loans to Greece. So that'll be very interesting, actually, because you never really know what's going to happen and how it's going to affect the market. So this is something that we're going to definitely take into consideration once we start analyzing the charts. I always like to look at the news, see if there's anything that's coming up. I usually go to Leap Rate or Forex Magnets. This is very interesting. The end of traditional trading floor draws near as CME does away with open outcry futures. So they're basically going to fire all the floor traders. And I wasn't expecting this. U.S. bank held liable for PFG client fund misappropriation, ordered to pay $18 million in restitution. I'm glad that they have to pay. I wish they would have paid more, but beggars can't be choosers. And let's see if there's anything else. No, that's pretty much it on that end that caught my eye. So let's get down to the charts. There are rules of engagement. There are rules of questions. I will take questions. I'm not going to answer them right away. The whole purpose of this session is for me to actually find trades and identify trading opportunities. If I choose to take a trade, it is at my discretion. If you use to take a trade, there are no buy, hold, sell trade recommendations here. You do so at your own risk. So, being that said and done, I need to hear a yes written down from each and every one of you. Are we clear on that? A yes will do. Start typing away. Okay, very good. Let us begin. So, wake up, feel excited. It's time to make some pips. Let's take a look at the chart. I like the pound Aussie. I like the pound Aussie because in the higher time frame, it is telling me that they're setting up to go long. Now, I'm not going to explain how each indicator works because it's going to take too much time, and nor am I interested in doing so. So for those of you that have the indicators, just follow along. For those of you that don't, just follow along. If you want to learn more, you can sign up for our free trading room on Mondays and Fridays, where I go over a brief explanation of what the indicators do and how they act. First thing we look at is the power dots, the golden dots. This is our main secret sauce because it announces volume and momentum buildup. And in this case, it really does, because what we're looking for here is that we're looking to identify a level that is going to be setting up something that they don't want you to understand, which is the trade of the night. So it pretty much maps out what their intent is. Now I opened up this one real quickly, and just out of the blue it came to my eye, because normally I look at the 30-minute just to see, and you can see basically that 195.07 is a very strong support level. And it started off at the end of the day, and you can see how they've traded from it. Every time they've come close, they've bounced right off of it. We're at that point right now. And normally what I like to do is that even though we have these power dots right here that formed, the higher time frames supersede this level. Why? Because most of the time when you have it on the higher time frame, it will actually demonstrate that the trade will eventually follow through in this level. Now right now, I am a spectator around this price. And the reason for it, let me use the pointer, is because at this specific price level, I want to see a little bit more reaction on the volume side. Our volume indicator is this one. Here we have the total volume per candle. Here you have buying, selling volume, and the cumulative, the net. So this candle right here actually has caught my eye. The reason for it is because it has quite a bit of volume. There's a total of 292.2 million, 149 million long, 149 million short. It says there's a difference of 1 million. And what they did is that within this short range, they have rebalanced all these orders. Now here in this one, we still yet to see how much more volume they're going to be injecting into this candle. Now, even though there's a transition in the sentiment that it's going to be bearish, I'm actually a little bit curious to wait and see, because, and pay no attention to this indicator right now because this is on the 15 minute. It's just basically telling you that they're in perfect balance, and they are in actuality. Both currencies are pretty much in balance with each other within the portfolio of 8. What we look for is for them to take certain currency pairs out of balance. So we'll come back to this one because I'm still interested in seeing how this one actually evolves. I wouldn't be jumping in on it right away, even though this did catch my eye that it formed here and that they came, but the range is very tight, and from top to bottom on this one, that's a 56 pip range. It's not bad. However, I'm still curious to see how they're going to, in the next two candles, defend this level. If they breach it, then we know that they're going to come down all the way over here to 193.40. If they don't, and it's at 195.06 right now, so if they don't, then at that point we know that they'll make a bounce to the upside. Now remember that we have the Bank of England coming out with a rate announcement today. So for all we know, they could be setting up for that. In the meantime, let's go to the 10-minute and see what 10-minute has to say. I sing when I trade, so forgive me. See, here's another. They went right through this level, so this is interesting. We have 1, 2, 3. They set up this level here as well. Broke down, came back up. This level was held. We'll draw a little line here. And we'll make it just a little wider. Bear with me. Okay. The fact that you have 1, 2, 3 pivots is a good thing, but they've defended this level pretty aggressively as well. They've said it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Usually the 5th time is very dangerous for them because it usually tells me that after the 4th attempt, they don't break it. So right now, I really want to wait and see how that develops. Let's go take a look at something else in the meantime. I want to see how the euro's doing. Let's go to the euro real quickly, and we'll come back. At least we know that the pound Aussie is in play. Always a very interesting trade. I actually traded that last night, made 160 pips on that. I really enjoyed that trade. All right, let's look at the higher time frame. See if we have anything of significance. Okay. Oh, nice. They're defending this level very aggressively. We'll see how they defend it. And trading is always very exciting. You have to okay, so this is very interesting, and we will see why right now. Okay, this level here is identified, and this level here is identified. But we're going to use this one right now. And because this one was really, really good, actually. They used this one 2 days ago pretty aggressively. Sorry about that. Pay no attention to my singing, but you better pay attention to my trading. Alright, let's go down to the smaller time frames, and we're about to see something very interesting. Okay, good. This is in the middle of this range. Let's see what the range is. It's always good to know what your range is from 59 pips. Wow, this guy's really moving. Should have traded the Asian session. Pay no attention to the analyze me and trade with me alert. That's just the alert. Okay, we have a nice transition here, but we're going to hit a roadblock right here. So we're going to wait. Let's take a look at the volume quickly on this one. Actually, I want to see. Yeah, euro getting stronger, dollar getting weaker. So they're going to be taken out of balance. But I want to see if there's much more volume kicking in on this thing. Ooh, 598.9 million. Wow, they really kicked this one. So this is based off of the ECB reaction right now. 340 million long, 259 million short, a difference of 82 million. That wasn't, and we have from 113.55 to 113.66, 10 pips within that range. This one is 319 on the buy volume. Sell volume is 216, 103 million. Not bad. Also good volume in that one. So what they're trying to do is that they're trying to drive the market to offset here. So we have to wait for them to get here. They surpass this level, so pay no attention to these power dots here because they're in the middle of this range. When they're in the middle of the range, usually they end up breaking that level very easily. Now this is the range that we have to pay attention to, but more importantly is that in the smaller time frames we need to find power dots that coordinate with those higher time frames, and if they don't, then we don't have a trade yet. This is what takes time to analyze. So here, for instance, say they broke this level, they're going to break this level, and they're going to come very close to this. They have to come up here. So we're still in waiting mode here. The volume, you can see how the euro is about to get stronger here. Nice transition here because they broke at this level, but I'm not convinced on this one yet. So we're going to wait. All right, let's go look at something else. So bring me back to that one. Let's look at the US yen. I'm not touching the Swiss here right now. I'm upset at the Swiss for what they did 3.5 weeks ago. So I won't trade their currency. They can go broke for all I care. Ooh, US yen. Interesting. Very, very interesting. All right, let's see the higher time frame on this one. Okay, good. We'll use this level. This is a valid level right here. It did go up at one point. You always want to map out what they've done in the past. What they've done in the past will reflect in the future. Remember that these levels that we're identifying are the current levels that they're going to be using to map out their trades. We're going to use this level. Oh, that was the wrong color. Damn. Okay, let's try that again. This one's green. Oh boy, my mistake, sorry. Always use bright colors. They stand out. Let's see, let's go to the smaller time frame. Okay, so they defended this level pretty aggressively. Hit it once, twice, 3 times, and this is the 4th. But he refused to trade above this level right here. We'll wait on this one. Let's see how they traded here. So 71 million against 137, so they needed to get out of these orders quickly here. So this one 83 against 79, so here they offset those orders, and then here they popped. And you have a pivot, so they defended this one pretty aggressively. This one here did the same thing. Their volume was very high, 129 on the buy side, 156 on the sell side. It was at 27. They couldn't offset 27 million, so the desperation was pretty aggressive. Here they were able to offset a good portion of it. Let's see here, 174 against 156 again. Same thing, previous candle. They were really desperate to get out of their short positions because they were going to drive this thing long. Okay. So same concept. I actually like this trade, and I like this trade long. The fact that they're in balance here doesn't give me too much, but they've been trading inside. These are inside bars right here. The transition is good. I want to wait on this one because it's bouncing off of this level. Doesn't seem to want to break just quite yet. We'll come back to this one. Let's see what the 10-minute looks like. Yurian stole your pips, huh? I'll take a look at that one right now. Oh, here it is. Glory days, glory days. This is what I was looking for. Let's see how far away I am from this trade, though. 20 pips. Yeah, I can live with 20 pips. This one's going to move, and it's going to come up to this level, more likely break up to this level, and it's already in play. I don't like to chase a trade. I wish I would have gotten here earlier. So I'll have to take a pass on this one right now and just wait for them to retrace. Normally they like to retrace, but the move is already in play. So let's give it a chance. Now that's 20 pips, so from 117.48 to 117.11. Ooh, that would be a good 40 pip move on that one. Okay, so we know that the yen is getting weaker and the dollar is getting stronger. I'm going to show you why this trade was a good trade to take. Aside from the fact that they hit this level once, twice, 3 times, the fourth one is the one that did it, and the fact that it formed the power dots right at or above this previous level, this previous support level on the higher time frame is good. This would have been the trigger right here. 117 on this one, 46 million long, 106 short. They need to get out of those long short positions. This one, 49 million long, 56 million short. They were also needing to get out, and then this one, they took a little bit longer getting out here before they popped. I did retrace. Okay. Come back just a little, you devious individual. Just a little. We'll see if it comes back just a tad. But I actually like this trade. This trade is very good. It's not going to yield much. Problem is that from this level to this level, you're only looking at 15 pips. 15 pips is not enough to catch my attention. I'm picky. It went up. Did you do what I did? That's my question. Okay. Let's see you play. This will be interesting. I would like it to come back to this level, 117.24. If it comes back here, then I'll take a position. But I'm not willing to jump on it right now because it's in the middle of the range. More likely it'll come up here. Okay, question. All right, questions. What triggers me? Okay, the volume. Normally they'll take, once the power dots form, you usually have 4 power dots that will tell you the story. The first one, in this case, shows you the volume, which is how they're basically driving volume to try and offset short positions against long. Here they did offset them. So you can see the volume here was 26 million long, 24 million short, a difference of 2 million. So the demand to buy was higher. Here in the next one, 22 million against 31 million. They did not offset 7.7 million. This next one, 21 million on the buy side, 13 million on the short side. They were able to offset. Next one, 35 million, 36 million. And finally, when they got here to this level, this is where it matters. 46 million against 106 million. They need this right here was my trigger because it showed me with the volume their emotion, the need to get out of their short positions. The next candle, they were still short in getting out of some of their positions. And then finally here, 58 million, 55 million, pretty much sort of balanced out. And then finally they popped. So this would have been right here. The fact that they came down, pulled right back aggressively, and then this last candle right at here when they did not close below, but actually closed above, that would have been my entry. And this one right here looks to be my entry now. No buy, hold, sell trade recommendations. Remember, you trade at your own risk. Why did I take this entry here? Number one, I said it was going to come back. One. Number two, my risk is here, which is only 15 pips away. My expectation is to make minimum of 20. It may come up to 117.64, but I'll be conservative and say they'll come up to 117.48. That's basically what I'm expecting them to do. The fact that they needed to rebalance their book aggressively here in these two candles, in these three candles, showed me their desperation that they were going to move this market up. When you see that, that is what triggers the trade. If you can understand this concept right here, then you'll be able to understand the entry and why this will come up here. And that's the whole expectation in that regard. So I actually like this trade. Let's take a look at something else. Your stop loss should be literally at this level, 117.11. So it's not too shabby from the entry. The spread was pretty wide, 117.33. I never exposed more than 20 pips. But I'm going to let this trade play out because my expectations are that it should come up. The volume says it, the sentiment says it, what do you call it? The trend stops tell me, and the trend dots are telling me the same thing. The candles trading above the trend dots is a very positive thing for me. So when this happened and this leveled off, it sort of pretty much confirmed because you had a nice transition of trend dots from bearish to neutral, which is gold, and then finally bullish, which is what's in play right now. So let's put a little arrow there, and we'll let this trade be. We'll let that trade play out. Let's look at something else. I want to go back to that euro. That euro caught my eye. But I want to take up the US CAD. Was that explanation good enough? Oh, Lord have mercy. I like this. This is a nice trade. US CAD. It never disappoints. Doesn't move as much, but when it does, it's a doozy. Why is this level important? It's important because they make it important. It's important because it ended towards the end of the day. They did trade above it, never traded below it. And now they've come here, retested it, failed. You see a pivot. More importantly is that right now they have formed more power dots around it, making it even stronger than ever. So here's where you start to look at volume. Let's minimize that, pull that over here. Let's see the volume here. Wow, this was aggressive. Okay, so this previous one, 112 million on the long, 167 million negatively, negative number of 54 million on the net, and they're desperate to get out of those positions, short positions. This next one, 449 million increase against 480, a difference of 830 million. So this was a bullish candle with bearish volume. Never a good sign, but a good sign that they're going to defend this level because they need to aggressively rebalance their risk and their book. Next candle, 432 against 224. Whoa, 208 million, and that candle insignificant. They literally rebalanced there. This one here is 272 against 447. Wow. And see, with this type of volume, them not breaching this level tells me so much that they are not going to breach this level. So this trade's actually very good. Dollar's getting strong. They must know something that we don't. And even though the volume here is a little on the wax side, you can see that it's trading at the mean. You see the dollar in decline here, the CAD getting stronger. That makes no sense. Let me look at the 15-minute, and then I'll look at the 30 before I decide to okay, hold on. When you see more selling than buying, it's not that you're seeing more sellers. It's that the banks need to get out of those positions. So, okay, trading above. This level again. We saw power dots there. Let's go to the 30-minute. Again, we may not see aggressive moves right now. Oh, I love this. See, this is what we live for. We live for their demise. This is where you call them artists, but of stupidity, because they literally set themselves up to fail. We're in a smaller time frame. I don't explain to you why this thing's going to go long. Take a deep breath. So see, this level is the level that is of high interest to me, 125.29. The fact that they have never come even close to touching this level tells me a lot. The fact that they've been trading around this level at this price frequency and that they've manipulated their volume aggressively tells me a lot. The fact that these power dots formed here above this level, this is what we call a triple hitter. Now, if you play baseball, it's a triple base hit. Could be a home run, but not yet. The reason it's not a home run is because the range is very tight, 125.88, from where it's currently trading 125.50. Could be a 30 pip move. I like to consider it to be a conservative 30 pip run because you have so much verification that they are not going to break this level. So we will take a position there and let them play. Let them play. Let them play. We will come back to you very soon. Let's take a look at the US yen. JPY. See how that one's playing. Oh, they retraced. Yeah, I thought they would. It's all right. Only down 10 pips on that one. It won't let it go more than 20. And this is where they should bounce from here again. So let's wait and see. orders. Let me look at the volume real quickly. 59.87. They were selling pretty aggressively, not that many buyers. 107 to 127. And this one's still in play. Okay. Okay, I can live with a retracement. Let's see how far they retrace. All right. Let's go to the next one. Someone was mentioning the pound yen or euro yen to me. Let's take a look at the euro yen. Okay. Came up to this level. They started early. I'll take a look and see what the news that hit here. Okay, the number was good for the UK. In 1 hour we'll get this release. Very good for the UK. Okay. They use this level here. Nice. I like the, but here's where they bounced. We'll mark this level as well. Because that's why we're seeing them retrace on the euro, on the US yen as well. They held this level, 135.55, 132.73. That was a big move that they did on the euro yen. They bounced here, but they didn't have any power dots there. Let's see if we have some here on the smaller time frame. I am currently in the US yen and US CAD. Okay, this one is, I'll check those in a minute. Bear with me. Nothing here, but they respected this price level. Nothing here. Let me look at the volume real quickly. Whoa, 266. Going along, 237. They pulled away, actually. They pulled a lot of their orders from selling, then they pulled here. But this one still looks like it's got one more move. So this will be interesting. This is where it could bounce up. Okay, we'll watch this one. Let me go to the US yen. I want to see how that one's playing real quickly, because that's going to give me an indication of whether the yen's going to continue to weaken or not. Yeah, we're still in play. Yeah, it bounced right off of this level. So this one should go long from here. Okay, yeah. No, we're good. We're good. Let's take a look at the US CAD. NinjaTrader is very easy to use. That's why I like this platform. But I like it because I can isolate their order flow. Okay, this one hasn't done much. But what's the volume here? Let me take a look at the volume real quickly. Show data box. Okay, this here is 156. Whoa. 156 million long, 484 short, and they did not break below. And this one is still in play, not quite done yet. See, if the volume here does not increases, but they don't break this price level, then we know that they're done. Then at that point, they've given away their hand. So the fact that they're increasing their volume on the sell side aggressively and no one's buying it tells me that they're desperate to get out of those short positions. So they need to offset that pretty quickly. And the fact that this candle isn't moving at all tells me that they're going to shoot themselves in the foot. So we'll leave that one. Let's continue. Let's look at pound Aussie again. We like that one. I was very interested in that one. Ah, yes. And finally, they speak. Okay, this one's in play. I like this one long. Yeah. No buy, hold, sell, trade recommendations. We'll mark this one. We'll let them play. Yes, yes, indeed we will. You know, I like the pound Aussie when you identify the levels really well and they aggressively play them. Then at that point, that's when you know you got them. Okay, let's take a look at the volume here to reconfirm. 101 million on the buy side, 99 million on the sell side. That they needed to get out of aggressively. They did rebalance. This one they did rebalance here. 135 million buy, 111 million sell. And then this one popped. And this one is 84 million long, 92 million. So they were still short, trying to get off of a few. 148 million, 116. Yep. 106 to 114. Very nice. It held. And we should be at break even on the spread within a pip and a half. And there it goes. Go, baby, go. Okie dokie. Let's go find another victim. Let's look at the Euro Aussie. You know, I was very disappointed yesterday with the Euro New Zealand because I only made 5 pips out of it. I made 160 pips out of the pound Aussie, 100 pips out of the Euro Aussie. That Euro New Zealand really disappointed. Ooh, I like this. We're a little late, but it still looks good. Let's go to the higher time frames real quickly. 30-minute. So for those of you that have bought the software from me, hopefully this has been able to show you. Oh, very nice. To show you what you should be doing before entering a trade. And we're going to mark that one right there. Yes, we are. That's a beautiful thing. Okay. This level is a little on the weird side right here, but we'll take a look at that real soon. See, this was my trade. I got in here and I got out here. It was about 100 pips last night. It was about 2 a.m. my time, which is 5 a.m. your time, Eastern time. Let us continue. Are there any questions? One at a time, please. Ah, yes. Treachery. Treachery beseeches you. Yeah, this one's going to hold. Something's up on this one. Told you that ECB decision was going to throw everything off. Some trades may not play out. So we'll mark this one down soon. Let's see, what data feed do you have? I use Kinetic, by NinjaTrader. It works for me. You can use the FXAM feed as well, but I like Kinetic. I'm very happy with that. Yeah, I'm going to hold off on this one. I mean, this one was great if you would have gotten in here, but now that it's retracing, I actually want to see it come down to 145.83. And then if it bounces from there, then I'm in. Otherwise, I'm going to hold on that one. Let's take a look at the US yen real quickly, see how that one's playing. We're going to go over that real quickly. Target on this one is really this level, 117.48 on the US yen. I'm not looking for it to go any further. I mean, if it comes up to the next level, 117.53, I'm happy. But right now, we don't seem to have any more news coming out until 45 minutes from now. The economic bulletin by the European Central Bank, and then retail PMI. So at 2 a.m. or 5 a.m. Eastern, we have the European economic forecast, and that'll be interesting because I don't think that'll be that great. That should turn the euro upside down. Then at 4 a.m., at 7 a.m., I'm really thinking about staying up for this one. If you guys were willing to join me, we'll have some fun with the Bank of England official bank rate. That's always a beautiful thing. I always find great opportunity when they come up with news. See, look at that. Keep going, come on. Show some backbone. All right, let's take a look at the US CAD, see if that one did anything. So you know the target for the US yen now. This one we are just about to hit break even here. And this one I'm looking for 125.91. So a good 40 pip run is what I'm expecting out of this one. And a power dot right there. Oh, that's a beautiful thing. I love it when that happens. So yeah, we'll let you play out. Let me see the higher time frame. I'm pretty sure that there is much more that this has to give. Oh, God, really? I need more data. Data. 45. Apply. Give it a second. I'm going to take a look at that one right now. I was thinking about the pound CAD. Thank you, Arisak. Let's just finish with this one, then we'll go to the pound CAD. Come on. Come on. Stop messing around with me. Come on. Once in a while, you have NinjaTrader play this game on you. Okay. All right, we're positive. Okay, actually, the next level for this one's really interesting because the US CAD is, the next level I see is 126.44, so it could be a 100 pip run. If it breaks this level, which is 125.92, then we're in a good run for 126.46. Good 80 pips. Rarely does it do it, but when it does it, it's a beautiful thing because it really moves the thing. So now that we've seen that, let's go to the pound CAD. GBP CAD. Go, go, go. All right, let's try that again. GBP CAD. I'm sorry about the humming, but when I trade, I hum, I sing, I whistle. It's entertaining. You haven't heard me sing yet, so believe me, don't get me going. I have an opera voice. A real soprano. Okay, nothing here, but looks like it could pop. Let's go to the 30 minutes, see if we have anything. Any power dots on the 30 minute. You shouldn't take, when you're doing your analysis, no more than 3 minutes to analyze the chart very quickly. It's a 1, 2, 3 effect. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, we have a little here. Let's bring this closer. Yeah, this level's valid because they stopped it right there. Whenever you see that they finished a level previously, the way they did this one, that is a level. You better look at it because they will. Yeah, this one looks like they're going to hold it right here. Damn. Doesn't look like it's going to be a big run, but they broke right through that level previously. But sometimes when they break through those levels previously, they'll use them again and again. Then finally, this one would be the case, but we'll go to the smaller minutes. Curiosity. Curiosity killed the bird. Okay, Vishal, I don't really use the 4 hour, and I'll tell you why. I use the 4 hour at the beginning of the week on a Sunday because I'll map out those levels. But during the week, like once we're in the middle, they've usually already used them. Oh, power dot right here, very nice. Isaac, you are worth your weight in gold, my good man. Let's see the volume. I usually won't go beyond the 60 minute during the week. Let's see this volume, forgive me. 108 on the long, 127 on the short. They needed to get out of these sell orders pretty quickly. They haven't offset yet. So that means we got another 2 power dots. The fact that there was a row at the beginning is a beautiful thing because this is a new level, and the fact that it's repeating itself. This is what we call a home run type of a trade that sets up. They're getting ready to do a home run, so they must know something that we don't in regards to the Bank of England. So we're going to wait, but this one looks very promising. I still want to wait a little bit on this one. I'm not that keen on jumping in on it yet. Let's see the volume here. Yeah, I'm going to wait on this. What was this volume? 175 to 135. They rebalanced in a very tight range. See, these are your high frequency candles because the amount of order flow that they're pushing through to rebalance is very aggressive. And the fact that they did not even come close to breaking this level says a lot. This pivot is insignificant. At the end of the day, the power dot surpasses what the pivot does and surpasses every other decision because they never attempted to challenge 190.61. But I want to wait just one more candle on this one. I'm not that keen on jumping in on it yet, but it looks good. We'll see if it holds. And come on. Yeah, the euro doesn't look that good. I'm not that keen on that. Yeah, see, we had a whole row of power dots on the 15-minute here, and see how they aggressively came in and rebalanced. And each candle, the volume just holds and holds and holds and holds, and they just don't break below it. And this one, of course, here is where we're at. It's starting to get more aggressive here. and they still don't break. I did buy the pound Aussie. Hold on. Type in the GoToWebinar, please. Not on Skype. Okay, we're gonna wait on this one, but it looks there's GBP AUD. Let me take a look at this one real quickly. Give it a second. Okay, they pulled back. I want to see how they play here. Pound CAD, yeah, that one's in play. This is what's going to do it for me. If they don't break below this, if they break below this price level, but then the next candle pops up, then I know they're going to continue to make that move to the upside. Because usually the higher time frame is power dots on the higher time frame isolate that level. So, and I don't like to give away too much. I don't like to expose more than 25, 30 pips. Especially this one requires a little bit more tolerance. So I want to see this one just a little bit closer. We're about to end this candle. The next one's going to be a doozy. Let me pull up the data box. 134, long 88. This one we're at 17. Huh. $19. Okay, let's see. What are you going to do next? This one didn't have much volume at all. But I need to see this next one. Come on, if you pull up your mind, let's see, what are you going to do? This is where it gets interesting, because anytime that they challenge the price level, if they, on the next candle after a bearish candle, pull up real aggressively, then at that point you know that they're going to really bring in the volume and momentum to the upside. So if this candle settles above 195.07, then we know we're good. It's at 195.12, and the volume is coming up 18 million long, 19 million, 20 million. Come on, keep pushing. I need you to make at least a 10 pip move. Come on, 26 million, 27. That's a 10 pip move right there. Now hold. Good morning, Skip. The stop on this one usually would be around this level, 194.92 is where I would put the stop. 195.20, come on, keep going. You're about to make me a very happy man. Hold. Let's see. 29 million long, 9 million short. So long as this one closes within the next 10 minutes above this price level, and if it closes above 195.20 or there, then we're good. So we should have the same reaction right now. So I'll leave this one alone because I know I'm not concerned about it anymore. I wanted to see how it played around that price level. And now we're going to look at the pound CAD. I think this is where we were looking for our entry, Arisak. Now remember, some of these trades, we may only be in them for about an hour and a half to 2 max. There it is. That's what we were looking for. Yep. Bam. Okay, let's put an hour arrow to nominate that one. The buy was at 190.79. Your stop loss should be at 190.55 or 54. And we are at break even. Come on, keep going. I need you to close at the break even point or above. Yep, that's the doozy. Okay. Let's go to, let me see that US yen again. JPY. Let's see. Never like to have more than 4 trades open at the same time. Sadistic little weasel. Came, hit it, and bounced right back. Okay. But trend stops are still on the upside. The volume is still on the upside. Sentiment is still good. And they just may be setting up to take that level and move above it. Okay. All right. We'll wait on you. We will wait on you. US CAD. But we will be flat before the, definitely. You want to be flat before the Bank of England announcement with their rate, because if you're not, you're going to get whipped. Okay. I'll wait on this one. Let me see the volume. Your stop loss should be 125.30 on this one, on the US CAD. Let's see. Wow, volume was heavy on this one. 283 million, 406. Wow. Let's see how this one plays. This one has 60 million short, 6.5 million long, net of 58 million short, and it should be literally just spiking down based on that volume, and they're not. Wow, look at that, 70, 80 million short and nothing. Oh, they must be really desperate to get out of that one. $14 million, come on, 16. Come on, just hold. 19, 20 million. Okay, so they're offsetting orders there. 21 million. See, when they have that amount of volume that they're pushing and no one is buying, that means that they don't have that many takers. And that's a lot of volume they're pushing right now. 98 million, 102 million, 106, and only 29 million. Offset, not good. 119, 124, and they still haven't hit this level? 136 and climbing 144. Wow, look at that. Oh, they are desperate to get out of those sell positions. Are you serious? Oh my. And that candle hasn't moved in not even a centimeter, hell, not even a pip. It's at 125.40 stuck. And there's 2 minutes left. 2:08. Whoa. 2:16. 2:19. 2:20. 2:22. And nothing. No one's buying. 2:37. Wow. See, this is where it gets interesting because you see the emotion, their desperation to get out of the orders. And no one is taking. That is not good. I've seen, and I've 282, 284, 286, and they're rebalancing literally at 125.40. And they can't get out. 32 million, 34 million, 35 million is what they've offset. 39, 40, 45 million, and nothing. It's still stuck at that price level. 51, and they got 1 minute left. 62. Whoa. All right, we'll let them kill each other. Right now, this one should bounce up, so I'm not concerned about that one. GBP, UD. Never get emotional about the trade. Let them get emotional about rebalancing their orders. What you see there is what I call currency portfolio rebalancing. They have to rebalance their portfolio and risk in specific currency pairs. Now that, saw that candle in the US CAD, that nothing moved it, that's what you call a true high frequency trading candle. Here we're good, they bounced off. And it's at 195.25. We're closed. So this next candle, I'm looking for it to go long because they defended this level very aggressively. 195.08. We'll wait on that one. Let's see that pound CAD. No. Come back here. GBPCAD. Now they could be playing around this level for a while as well. So we're just going to have to wait and see how they react. I gave you the stop on that already. I'll go back to it in a second. It was below the price level on the 30-minute. See here they're holding. They haven't moved yet, but that doesn't give me great satisfaction either. Because I'm waiting for we got in here when they pulled away from 190.61 was our price. So this next candle has to do something. If it doesn't, I'm probably going to scratch it and get out. Let's see the volume on this one because I'm concerned that they're doing probably the same thing that they're doing with the other one. No, this one doesn't have aggressive volume. This one did. This one is still uneven here. We'll let that one play. Let's go back to the US. What was the US yen? Now it was the pound Oz. What was that? Was I think it was the US CAD. We have 18 more minutes before the next news release. Now I don't trade the news. And I say that in a way that I'm just not affected by it. Normally they set up to trade around it. Okay, let's see what this did. Okay, that was aggressive volume. They ended up settling pretty aggressively on that one. They ended up buying the orders and offsetting them. Wow, this one needs to come up. That's what's going to sell me on this move to the upside. I don't like the fact that they're coming down right now, so I need to see this one bounce. This should be your stop loss, 125.29 on this one. 44, 37 on the sell side. So this was the high frequency one. Okay. They didn't really break below it too much. So we'll see how this one plays out. Okay. Very interesting. GBP, and that's why the pound cat hasn't moved either. They're holding. Yeah, that's why this one's holding. It's not trading below, which is a good sign. So this is telling us the story of what they're playing. Volume is very low on this one. Very, very low. Okay. We're pound New Zealand. Really? Alright. I'll take a look at you. Pound yen. Interesting. Higher time frame. Let's see. Where are we with you? Come on, 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 come on. Give it a minute. Oh, very nice. Okay, we will draw you from here to here. And we will map you out. Okay, let's see, where's there another level? Right there. And this one repeated itself twice, so that makes it even more dangerous as a resistance level. Okay. There's usually one pair that will lead the pack. Remember that. So if you're looking at the pound pairs, because there's a news event that's going to affect it, there's usually one that will lead the pack, and this one is doing that for us. That means that we should be very close to break even on the pound Aussie if this is happening here. Yeah. This one gives me a good, I wouldn't take this trade, I'm a little late on this one. Pound Aussie. But there's usually one leader within the pack. You have to find that leader. But you have to isolate their order flow as well per pair, so you can get an idea of how what their need to rebalance their book on that specific pair. And there's usually 2 to 3 banks that are controlling the interest. So, okay, we're 9 pips away from break even on this one. I like the fact that it's held. Let's see the volume. 133.85. This one was aggressive. They finished rebalancing here. There's demand, so we need to see the demand kick in on this one. So once this thing closes, I said if it closed above 195.20 would be good. It's 195.07. 6 here, so it's still 10 pips positive. We'll let that one play. And the pound cat is holding as well. Then we'll take a look at the US yen in a minute. If that's the case, then the pound yen should look good as well. Let's see. Yeah, this is up to bat. Okay. Still holding. Interesting. I want to see where the volume's at here. Not that much volume. Okay. Next candle. See, the volume there was very low, 9.7 million against 1.7. And it was a bearish candle, but it held right above. It settled right above this price. So this next candle is supposed to make an impression on me long, based on the fact that they offset their orders here. Let's see how you play. Come on. Let's go. Keep pushing. Okay. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. If you defend the price, then we're good. It's holding. Okay. Let's see what you do. In the meantime, let's take a look at that US yen. And then we'll take a look at the pound yen. I'll explain that in a minute. Pound Aussie moving. I can't have multiple screens open because what happens is, okay, this one's still in play to the upside. What happens is, I'll go over the stop loss for soon on the Pound Aussie, is that it takes up too much memory. So I have to switch on one. When I go to webinar, it takes up too much memory. And NinjaTrader takes a bit of memory as well. If I was doing this myself, I'd have 4 charts open. But because I'm showing you guys how I trade, I can only use 1 right now. So this one's at almost at break even. Like I said, it bounced, so we'll see. Yeah, it should hold. All right, I'm happy with that one. Let's go back to the pound Aussie. And we will take a look. Oh, great, hold on. GBP AUD. Give it a second. Very nice. Okay, see? I knew they were going to play it. Okay, so your stop loss on this one should be at 194.93. That's where your stop loss should be on this on the pound Aussie. Come on. I need you to break long. Keep going. Push it. Come on. Keep going. It's time to break the level. And see, this is the level it has to break. It's got to break at our entry right there. The minute it breaks above it, they're done. Then we go to this level, which is 195.72. And once it breaks here, then we go to this one, which is 196.15. I'm hoping they come up here before the Bank of England announcement. That would put a smile on my face if they made a 100-pip move. So we're going to let you play. Yes, we are. You bad boy. Okay, someone had a question about the colors. Can you make that question again, please? Where was that? What's the relevance of the colors? Oh, on the volume bars? Okay. In this case, it's a bullish candle. This one would be an inside bar, and this one would be an outside bar. So if the volume is like this, means that this traded outside of the previous 1 or 2 bars. That's pretty much all it means. Like this one here should be more significant, but the volume that they're pushing is not at the time. Hold on, let me pull up the volume. Look at that. Oh, there it is. Show me the money, baby. That's what I want to see. And look at that volume. That is a beautiful thing. All right, keep pushing, boys. Keep pushing. That's right, buddy. All right, let's go to the pound cat, because the pound cat is probably in play right now. I want to put a nice smile on Audi Sex's face if it kicks in. Let's go down, down, down. Come on, come on, come on. Don't hold me back. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, and there it is. You gotta love it. So we're expecting it to come here to 190, 160. Is that 191 even? So come on, boys. Punch that puppy. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. All right, let's look at the US CAD. And hold on. USD CAD. And then we'll take a look at the US yen last, and then we'll take a look at the euro. I wasn't that keen on the euro. The fact that news is coming up right now in 3 minutes did not make me a fan. And the fact that the European Central Bank came out with a statement saying that they are not going to help the Greeks made me less of a fan. Okay, this one's still not budging. Don't like that. It's a stubborn mule. It's holding, but it's not budging, not the way I wanted it. Let's see. If it closes above this level right here, 125.42, then okay, I'm good. But if it doesn't, I'm not. And look at the volume that they offset at this price level. I mean, wow. They were really desperate to get out of their short positions, so they better be desperate to really get into long positions right here. We'll allow you to play another 2 minutes, and then we'll define your future, buddy. All right, let's take a look at the euro. Euro USD. 2 minutes before the announcement. Told you it was going to hit this level, but now it's, let's see the volume on this thing actually. I'm curious. When they hit this level, 373, 356, they offset the orders there, 152, 218. Once they pulled away, they tried to offset but less buyers. Then they really pulled away here but almost rebalanced. Then here, not quite. Here they did rebalance all these previous orders. See, when you have a lot of buying volume against the previous selling volume, it also offsets the previous volume in the past 1 or 2 candles that they're trying to get out of. So they did rebalance the book there. Here it's pretty much even. I'd like to tell you that this thing's going to go short. I don't think this is going to go long any further. All right, which one of you is bothering me right now? The pound yen. Yes, we said we were going to look at that one. Yeah, the euro to me, I don't know, it doesn't, I'm not that keen on it going long just because of what they did at that price level. They rebalanced their long positions very aggressively to go short. So even though it looks like it's long, to me it looks like it's going to go short, but we'll wait and see. The news just should have come out right now. Let's see. Let's refresh. And get out of the way. Get out of my way. No. Okay. All right, let's see what the bulletin says. More hawkish than expected. Good for currency. 8 times for your 2 weeks. Source reveals governing board valued when making latest interest rate decision. Provides detailed analysis. Okay. So they're still hawkish, so that doesn't really change much for me. Okay. Let's refresh that. No. Go back to calendar. Okay, so now we are waiting for PMI numbers in 10 minutes. Look at that pound yen, it moved. I wouldn't be, and this one should come up once. It's at 178.56. Next level is 178.86, and then it should balance out at 179.13 if they make such a move. So I'm curious. You know, sometimes they start to drive currencies in advance way before the rate announcement. It's like if they've already priced them in. But I'm already in 4 trades, so I really don't like to take third. But, I mean, if you wanted to, You could get in on this position. I'm not telling you to, but your stop loss is going to be about right here, 178.25, and that's a pretty big stop loss. I don't like that type of risk. Once you're late, you're late. You know, we're already in a few others. I want to see that pound CAD and that US CAD. And we'll look at the euro one more time. I don't like that euro that much. We still have 7 minutes. I don't like that euro long. It looks to me like they're going to pull back. And there it is. Yes, indeed. Run, run, run. Okay. We're up 23 pips on that one. Pound Aussie should be very good as well. Hopefully you guys like these trades. I know they're not real movers yet, but give it time. They'll kick in. And these trades were not based on news events. Look at that, Pound Aussie. We're barely up 4 pips on that. How disappointing is that? This one really better kick in. I'm going to be very upset if this one doesn't yield at least 50 pips. Come on. Don't be such cowards. Pound CAD has yielded more than you. How shameful is that? Let's take a look at that US CAD because I was worried about that one. I wasn't that keen on that one. Hold on. Pound Aussie, give me a second, I'll tell you what we got in on that one. So we're on the Pound Aussie. 1 second. Come on. Oh, there it is. Okay, it kicked. Here it goes. All right. So we are going to see the dollar actually tank, aren't we? Look at you. No, the CAD is going to tank. The US dollar is going to gain strength against it, and that's not good against the pound. Because if the dollar gets stronger, something ain't going to play right. We'll let this one play. I don't like this one that much. I'll let it get a break even. If I don't see any more action, I'll close it. Let's take a look at the US yen. And then we'll go back to the Pound Aussie. JPY. Come on. Now, normally when you find a trade that, in this case, like I said, we really were not trading the news. We were trading the price levels and the volume around those price levels and how they were setting up. Because what more than likely is happening is that they're going to set up for the Bank of England rate announcement. See, this one hasn't budged. It's held. It's just holding. And I'm only down 2.5 pips, so we'll wait. We'll wait and see. I'm going to give this one a few more minutes. I'm not that desperate to get out of it yet. But they're holding this level right here. So if it breaks this level, then I know they'll run up here. But, interesting. Okay. Pound Aussie. And then I'll take a look at the euro. know trading is boring, but you gotta get over it. Okay, so the next price level that it should hit is 95.69. It's currently trading at 195.40. Our entry was 195.33. Let's see, the volume here was the important one. Here at this point, it's not that relevant. Oh, I see what they did. It held right here because of this level. You sadistic little weasels. 95.45. The next level has to break. Once it breaks, then it moves up. Okay. It's at 195.37, so we'll let it play a little longer. Okay, let's go take a look at the Euro USD and see what the dollar is doing. Yes, I do, but I look at them at the beginning of the week. And the middle of the week, like after tonight in the morning, I'll take a look and see if there's a swing trade. Normally, if you see power dots form on the 30-day, on the 30-minute, those are usually 1 to 2 day trades. Those are usually swing trades. So this one, if I'm right, it should move pretty aggressively to the upside. It should, but the fact that they've been playing with the volume at this level, that they've been rebalancing their book, doesn't give me that assurance that they're going to break above this level. Remember, these levels here, these prices, 113.20 and 113.82 were identified on the 30-minute. So normally, if I wouldn't have seen a level form here on the 30-minute, I'd be confident that this trade is going to move aggressively to the upside back above 114. But because this formed here and the fact that they rebalanced here, I'm afraid that what they're going to do is that they're going to try and trick the retail traders to go long. And really, it's not just the retail traders. They're trying, whenever they push above a price level aggressively the way they did here, they're trying to pull in smaller banks to basically take them for a ride and then bring it down. And I don't like this trade long because of how they've been manipulating their volume here at these price levels, because it's been very aggressive and no movement to break above the price level. See, this one, hardly no volume on this one. So that means that they took these past 4 candles here to rebalance their risk. Even though this one's trading a little higher right now, unless I see it break above 113.83, I'm not interested in going long. I'm interested in going short. I just want them to come up one more time to this level before I make that decision to short it. And it's not there yet. Where the other trades are already in play. So that's the only thing. And if we look at what the numbers were right now, see, everything is they're basing off of what the European Central Bank just did to Greece, which is not a good thing. Okay, so the number wasn't good. Retail PMI is bad for the euro. Very, very bad. The forecast is next, within the next 15 minutes, but their forecast is not going to be that great. And then we have the Bank of England bank rate, and that'll be very interesting. So, see, I don't like this trade to the upside. I'm not that keen on it because they refuse to break above this, or to even come close to it. When that happens, let's see if we have something on the 15-minute. It tells me that they're just not going to play. And what it could mean is that trade balance for the U.S. should be very strong when it comes out. The numbers for the U.S. should be strong. So if that's the case, then we've just identified that they've pretty much given up on strengthening any currency against the dollar because they're going to weaken them across the board against the U.S. dollar. Yeah, see, right here, it's just the way that they've played it. You know, when we look at the volume here, even on the 15-minute, look here, 305 million against 183 million on the sell side, and you didn't trade above this level. Are you kidding me? And this one, 266 against 260, they pretty much rebalanced the whole order, the whole, you know, all their long orders here. Here, they tried to, they sold less, they bought more, and it didn't drive price. So the sellers were not, the ones in control are the sellers, and they did not allow price or any more bids above this price level. Otherwise, it would have driven this candle above this price level with that volume. This one here is 234 on the buy side, 326. They aggressively tried to sell, you know, below this price level. Here the same thing, 487 on the buy side, 481 on the sell side. You can see the emotion where they're trying to get out of those buy orders. So I'm not that keen on taking this trade long. I'm afraid that what they've done is that they set it up to look like it's going to go long, when in actuality they're going to just hit everyone and go short. If you really wanted to take the trade, because it's trading at 113.73 and this price is 113.83, I could tell you could probably wait for this candle to finish. If it comes up a little bit more, then you could short it and then have like a 10 pip stop loss so that your risk is very minimal. I would wait on this one. I'm not that keen on the euro based on the news that just came out and based on how they're going to react against Greece. It's just not, we would have seen a stronger reaction by now in this pair, and we haven't. So, no. Let's take a look. And this is also the reason why the US yen hasn't moved. Give it a second. The unit sets. Yeah, see, Greek stocks slump with lenders. ECB restricts loans amid talks. That's going to affect the euro. I don't care what anyone says, but it's not going to be a good thing for the euro. Okay. Yeah, see, it's just holding there. And it should have moved by now. I'm not expecting a big move on this one now, just because of the fact that it should have had, even though we're at break even, we should have had a much bigger move on this one. The US CAD had more movement than the US yen. If you guys have any questions, or if you want me to look at a specific pair, let me know and I'll take a look at it. Just monitoring the trades. Okay. This is what I was not that keen on. That they came here. Yeah, no. I won't give up more than 20 pips on this trade. I don't like what they did. What it tells me is that this one's going to go short. If it doesn't break this level, if it breaks this level, then I'm out. and it's going to break that level. They came right at it. Treacherous little buggers. Yeah, this one's trading outside. This one traded outside these bars, and this one, let me see the volume real quickly on this one. 448, 436. Oh yeah. Now it's time to cut and run. 10, 14, 15. Come on. Come on. Match it up. 16 million long against 22 million short, difference of 5. 17, hold. 23. 18, 25. 26. 19, 20 to 26. No, this one's not going to hold. Nope, I'm out on this one. This one's actually going to go short from here, and it should come here. Something's up with this pair. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it played out. It should have held here, and it didn't. They went right through the price. So, no, sometimes you just got to walk away from a trade and take your lumps. GBP AUD. So I'm out on that one. Let's see how this one's trading. Boy, Ninja Trader's just taking a little too long right now to load, isn't it? Okay, this one. Okay, good. We have a nice transition here. We're just waiting for it to break above 195.54, and then we'll be much, much happier. Yeah, it should. 95.69 is the next one, next level. So I'm happy with that one. I don't have a complaint on that one. That one should run really nicely. GBP. CAD. I'm curious to see how this one's playing. Okay, this one's up 7 pips. 6. Let's see, why are you playing? This transition is, oh, I don't like this. The CAD getting stronger against this one. And that's why this one's holding. If this one doesn't move up another has to break above this price, which is 190.103. It's trading at 190.90. So I still need to see another 10 pip move on this thing. Got it here at the very bottom. So we'll see. I'm not completely convinced that it may move. I think the pound Aussie has a little bit more potential at this point. This one, I was looking for it to come up to 191.61, but it has to break this level, 191.03, 191.04, in order for it to make another run. And we haven't seen it do it yet. Okay. Come on, let's go, keep pushing. 111. We'll let that one play a little bit. USD/JPY. Now I'm really interested in seeing the US yen. And we'll take a look at that euro again. Normally by this hour, we've usually seen more aggressive. Whoa, that's not good. Okay, you have two levels formed here now. And that's not good. It's time to get out of this trade. Whenever you see them form two levels right below a higher time frame, it tells you that they're going to short it, that they're going to reverse. So I'm going to wait a little bit because it'll make one more attempt to break above it, to break above the break even, and then I'll close it. What are you? Yeah, that's not a good thing. This 117.40 is going to be very, very difficult for it to break above. And so that means that they're really going to have a hard time here. So let's see if they do anything. They may be waiting for the Bank of England before they actually move. Otherwise, we would have seen more aggressive movement on this. And we haven't really seen. See how they're pulling away? They go up and down right at this level. And sometimes you got to take a look at the volume to see what they're doing here. 115, 30 million long, 132 million short. They didn't off balance. They balanced them out here and here. You'll see it's at break even here. But I'm not trusting this trade any further because of these levels that just came out. And sometimes it's better to break even and walk away, come back. Yeah, I'm out. I didn't lose and I didn't make. But I will come back to see that one. GBP, CAD. Don't ever trade against the power dots, because if they form, they will break you. And in that case, they formed twice. And they formed right below a previous high, which made it even more dangerous. This one's playing out, so I'm not concerned about the pound CAD. I'm expecting this one to come up to 190, 160. So this one will recover on the US CAD and actually make us a profit. We broke even on the US yen, so there was no loss. Here we're still pretty much even. Let's take a look and see what the pound Aussie is doing right now. Because if this one's in play, then that one should be in play as well. And then we'll take a look at the euro. Because I don't trust that euro going long. And I think that we're going to be right at the moment to nail that thing when it goes short. If it does, it should be a good run. Okay, this one's still holding. It's having a really hard time breaking 195.53. So the next candle is going to be very significant for me, because if it doesn't break above 195.53, we may have to pull out and take what we have. I mean, I like what I see here. I like the volume the way it's forming here, but I need more price action driven in that direction. And their volume is not giving me that. See this one, 157 million, long 168 million short, difference of 11 million negatively. This one right now is pretty much matched, 11 million long, 11 million short. And they're not moving above. And that has me concerned, because it means that they could reverse. So let's see, pound Aussie, yeah, because it's right here. This next candle is going to make me or break me in regards to staying here with this trade. It could be that they're just waiting for the Bank of England. And sometimes it's better to just take what you can get and wait for the next setup. We know that this is short now, so we're going to be seeing how they play right before the announcement. I don't see this one moving any further. Unfortunately, this next candle's the one that will do it. And if I don't see any action, any more volume kicking in here, see, look at that. Very little volume in this candle. There's no movement, and they're pulling back, and that just doesn't play well with me. No, it's time to get out of this trade. We're still out with 3 pips, and see, it reversed right when I closed it. And the pound CAD is still in play. So that tells me a lot. That tells me that they're going to set up for the rate announcement. GBP, CAD. Yeah, anytime they have a rate announcement, it usually throws things off. Sometimes they can set up right before it. See how they pulled away? We were up about 23 pips on this one. They're doing the same thing. And sometimes it's just better to take it off the table, reassess, come back. I would have expected this to move further, but it's not. So we're out. So now we're flat on these trades, and we're pretty much at break even. No loss, no foul. Let's take a look at that euro. Euro USD. There are days when you'll have this, where the market just won't give you more, and sometimes it's better to just take whatever you can get off the table. Ah, yes. Here you go, you treacherous individual. This pivot right here is very significant, but we're going to see how they play out this next level here. Now, the fact that they're coming in at an angle tells me that they could potentially break above this, but they haven't. And see how they hit. We talked about them hitting this level. So at this point, I'm still going to wait and see this one out. I mean, if it came back, it would come back here from 113.69 and 113.59. There's just not enough volume in this market right now. They're going to wait for the rate announcement. Let's take a look at, let's take a look at the Aussie dollar. I'm curious to see the Aussie dollar. Normally when you get into a trade like this, if you don't see significant volume and momentum drive the currencies within the first hour and a half, then take what you can get off the table, because you're not going to get anything more out of them. They're just not set up to give any more at that particular moment. See, this one's holding here, and we'll take a look on the 30-minute to see why it's holding there. We'll probably find a level there. Give it a second. Yeah, there it is. That's why it's holding. This is telling us that that trade balance number is going to be very, very significant, because they're holding that one very aggressively. And it's not the first time that we've come across it. So they could be waiting for those two specific numbers. So this was the previous low, the previous high. Previous low's right here. Let me see, what's the next level? That one right there. You always want to map them out, because you never know. And these levels are very important, because they give you, literally give you, their plan of action. And sometimes they follow through all the way, and sometimes they don't. Depends on if they're waiting for a special news announcement, which in this case they have been literally waiting for it. And they're probably going to make us wait. All right, let's go down to the smaller minutes. 15. Miserable Bank of England. They're going to hold us. They're going to hold us. question. Tough morning to trade with breaking news on the euro. Yep. Thank you very much. I appreciate that comment. Yeah, sometimes you have to be very metallic about your decision process. Never get emotional about a trade. And I always like to find 3-4 pairs that I believe will make a move, a significant move. But if there's a news event or a news release that throws it off, then sometimes they won't follow through on that move, but you'll still make something out of it. In this case, we're pretty much at a break-even point. We're up maybe 2 pips for the night. I know it's not a lot, but believe me, sometimes it is, because it allows you to reassess, take a breather, step back, and wait for the real trade. If they didn't follow through with those trades, that means that something's up, and you just have to take what's off the table. And if you're positive, great, and if you're not, take the minimal loss. It'll allow you to come back, reassess. See, look here, they pulled right back, but they're still planning on going short on this one. They're not planning on going long. Everything is already predefined on this one. I actually like this trade now short, and I would take this trade short even though I get out of it with a loss, because the next level, it looks to me that the next level is going to be here. And my stop loss would be no more than 10 pips on this at this particular moment. So something's up with oil. It means that they could be rebalancing oil. But I'll wait. I'm not that keen on jumping into this trade yet. I'll wait for it to break this level, and then I'll take a position. They broke through this level, but they've been trading, as you can see, within this range. I don't like this pivot that formed here. Just quite a few things that just, don't give me that ease at this point. JPY. I wish you guys would have been with me yesterday. You would have made 205 pips. Come on, 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 come on. The US yen and the US CAD are good gauges right now to see how they're going to play the US dollar. But the US CAD may be one of those. See? Told you. They're just going to be playing within this range, and that just didn't make sense. It made sense to get out at break even on this one. So we're going to wait. And the fact that these power dots formed here makes this price level 117.40 very dangerous, because what can happen is that they could come up one more time, retest, and then bounce to the downside. So we're going to wait for them to play it out. I'm not that desperate to. Let's look at the euro yen. Euro yen should be interesting. Euro Aussie. That'll be a gauge to see how the euro plays, actually. We'll take a look at that one in a second. Okay. See, the euro yen's playing just like the euro dollar. See the pivot here, same pivot on the euro dollar. Nothing really changed. It doesn't look like they're going to break above this level, 133.55. But I want to see them come back one more time and retest. They're playing within this range, 133.30 and 133.55. That's a very dangerous 20 pip range because the breakout could be significant depending on the news. We don't have anything yet that would show us otherwise. Let's look at the Euro Aussie. Ah, yes. Finally, one that basically gives them away. But again, this level is just, it's a treacherous little doozy. $145.64. They break, they come down hard. Let's see, let's look at the higher time frame. Let's look at the higher time frame. Congestion. New Zealand pound, Aussie and pound CAD. Okay. Yeah, see if it breaks this level, it's gonna drop. And see this dot right here? Whenever you see that one, that's the next price level. 142.85. That's a big drop from 145.78. And that's a swing trade. So if it breaks below this level, they're done. And that's why they're defending it very aggressively. See, yesterday, I got in on this trade because they broke right below it, and then they bounced right above it, and they came all the way up. And that was a 100 pip move on that one. So right now, we're just going to have to wait. There isn't anything out there that we can do. Let's look at the New Zealand dollar. That one's always an interesting one too. Miserable European Central Bank. They ruined the trades for us. And then they got upset because Jordan from the Swiss National Bank decided to tell them to go fly a kite. Oh, look at this level. God, I love these levels. See, this is where they bounced right off of it, but it's from here to here, it looks like it's going to come down from this level, which it was at 0.7398, should come down to 0.7325. We'll mark this one. Sorry about the whistling. Yeah, this is another one. Sorry about the humming. Let's go down to the 30-minute. Give it a second. see if there's any more levels. Yeah, see, we're trading right below this level here. So we'll draw a line on this one. Red. The colors, and someone asked a question about this, signify the price levels that they're using right now, currently. On the higher time frame, they're very significant because normally when they trade off of them very aggressively, they usually move for a day or day and a half, and they can usually signify between 80 to 150 pips, maybe sometimes 200 pip moves. And those are your swing trades. So whenever you see them come up on the 30-minute or 60-minute, you better respect them because the banks do. See, this was a trade yesterday when it came down from here, and it just came close to this level, then bounced right back up, and you can see this level lined up with this one very aggressively. And I took this trade short and I bought it, and this was, when was this? This was a while back. Yeah, I made pips on this one. This one here is not there yet. Not there yet. Now some of these trades are just waiting. They're just, see, everything's just off right now. Maybe we'll see something in the Aussie New Zealand. Sometimes these outlying pairs can be very significant. We just might have to wait for the announcement of the Bank of England. So if we don't see anything set up in the next 10 minutes, we'll take a break, and we'll come back literally a half hour before the announcement, which would be 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. If you're up to it. If not, I'll trade it, and then I'll send you guys a snapshot. Yeah, see, look at this one. This one moved. This one moved. And this one is one of those that rarely does it do. But when it does, it's a real 51 pips. Not a big move per se, but it was steady. It was and these are the type of trades that I like to look for when they're steady. The fact that this ended here right before the close pretty much would have given me an idea that they would have made that run up. But we're late on this one. But we'll mark it. We will mark it. We'll leave that one be. Okay. Which one? New Zealand yen, Euro New Zealand. We looked at those. Nothing was happening. Let's take a look at that one. Actually, I'm curious. I don't like chasing trades. It's not my style. If I don't see a specific setup, I won't take it. And that's one of the things that you guys have to learn. You guys have to be very, very respectful of those trades. But we want to see what you're doing in the higher time frame. Nope, nothing of significance. Well, However, if you break below this level, you're going to shock someone. Interesting. Let's see if there's a level. No, no level there. So we might find one in the 30-minute. Next Wednesday should be more exciting. This one, the ECB sort of killed our thunder. No levels here. Let's see. No, nothing here. They're either here or here or here. So this one's already in play, but they're waiting. They're waiting very patiently for someone to make a mistake, and I'm not going to make that mistake today. So we're going to walk away from this one. Let's see what gold's doing. Gold is usually a good gauge. That's the nice thing about this software, is that you can trade both futures and Forex. And if you can't find anything in Forex, you can certainly find something in the futures. But in this case, I just want to see what they're doing. And they're not doing much. I'm going to have to change the contract on this one. No, this one's not giving me what I want to see. Hold. Let's see, mini Dow. Give it a second. This one, we're going to change the 45 minutes. Normally they'll set up a trade before a big announcement like the trade balance, and they'll identify the level in a higher time frame. And if they do that, then we can, at that point, reconfirm some of the pairs. Okay, they held it here. Great. Means they've got more punch to the upside. Let's go down to the smaller time frame. Now sometimes, if they can't hold the trade too long, because money is always in continuous motion, so something's up. Okay, now this one's not giving us anything of significance. Let's go to the Euro USD one more time, because there's a news announcement coming up, which is the economic forecast in 3 minutes. We just may find our trade real soon, actually. Let's look at the 10-minute. See, they've had a really hard time dealing at that price level where that red line is at. But I'm not convinced that they're going to go long on that one yet. However, it does tell me that something's up, and they're probably looking to short the pair based on trade balance numbers that the U.S. is going to release. But if that's the case, then they planned this out very well. Okay, let's see. Okay, you broke above it, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, and I will wait. Let's see what you do here. If you pull back, then you're mine. See, they came right at that thing right there. So let's take a look at the volume. Here's where it gets interesting. 164 to 134. We're at 66, 67, 57. Less volume because they've already rebalanced and gotten out of their long positions here, but then they decided to move this up. So let's see how far they play it. This candle had 373 against 356. This one was a real high frequency trade, and then this one, they're all pretty much around 160, 150, and this one has not even that much close volume, and they're driving it up. Interesting. Let's see if they play a Big Ben at this time of the night. You know what? Rarely do I go to the smaller time frames, but today is one of those days. Let's see what they're doing on the smaller time frame. If you gave me a trade today, I'd be happy to trade with you, but you haven't given me anything right now. Yeah. Oh, there it is. That's what I was looking for. And the small time frame, they pushed it up and they pulled away, and they're doing the same again. And oh Lord, that just looks too good to be true. And I'm going to take them up on that. I'm going to short it from here. And I'm not going to give up more than 10 pips. But if I'm right and they come below this level, then they're going to come down. So let's see if I'm right. Because this is going to be the leader for the rest. European Commission publishes winter economic forecast. EU raises 215 euro area GDP forecast to 1.3 from 1.1. Well, then this should have exploded. Based on such great news from the ECB. So let's see. Let's see if I'm right, and I don't think I'm wrong. Come on, keep going. If you close below this price level, you're mine. 113.83 is where they're basically just going to write their grave. And here it comes. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Your stop loss should be 113.92. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Keep it, come on, keep it coming. I need you to really, really, really find the moment. There it is. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I need you to close below that. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Play nice. This is the moment where you're going to play nice. Yes, I'm trading with you, my dear. Believe me, I'm trading with you. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Thank you. Sometimes you just gotta, you have a feel for it because you know how they're manipulating the volume. And so you can tell how they're going to play the trade. If they close this candle below that level, they're done. And then we should see that thing come down to 113.58 and maybe 113.49. But I want to wait to see the 10-minute candle close. So the next 6 minutes are very significant for me at this point. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, give it up, come on, come on, don't be so treacherous. This is where patience is a virtue. Stand your ground. There it is, come on. One more leg down, just one punch. Come on, just give it to him right there. Give me 10 pips and then you're mine. Come on, 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 come on. Come on. Keep it going. See, they know that if they break below this price level, 113.78, they've got to come down to 113.60. And that would be close to a 20-pip trade on that. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, don't be such... Don't hold out. Give it up. See, this is the thing that many times you may not find a trade between 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern Time, but you will find it right after 5 a.m. and they're going to give it to you, and I'm going to take it from them. So come on, we need you to push down one more. Come on, keep going, don't stop. Come on, come on. Be a good player, come on. Come on, come on, come on, there it is. Come on, keep going, keep going. Keep going. 8 pips, now 6. Now normally I'll give a trade about a half hour to play out. And if within that half hour I'm up between 10 and 20 pips, I'm good. I'm up 9 right now. But remember, I still have another 4 minutes on the 10-minute candle, and that's the one that's going to do it. Next level, since they broke, if they break below this one, which they did, they got to come here. Come to daddy. 113.61. Come on. Come on. All right, they're going to play hard to get right here. Because the move was pretty significant. It was literally a 10-pip move right now from the entry. But if they give up more than 10 pips within a 10-minute time frame, and they close right below this this price level, they're done. They're done. They're done. They're done. That's when we go da 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 da, and the music begins to come out and flow, and the sky opens up, the angels light up, and suddenly you hear a beautiful harmony. And they say you're making pips. Come on, keep punching. Come on. Put a smile on all our faces today. Come on. That price, that one right there, 113.74 is the one that I'm looking for it to just go boom. And once it goes below that puppy, then they're done. Now what could happen is that we could see it settle right at or below it, and then on the 10-minute it's really going to come down like a stone. But we'll play the 3-minute right here. Told you, I didn't think they were going to take it long. I wasn't that keen on that trade, the way they were playing the volume at that level, because they were pulling away from it pretty aggressively. Now, here's another tip right now. Because you see the price action on the candle trading below the trend dot, that's a good thing. It has to come and meet this level, 113.66. So if it doesn't retrace and it comes, it'll hit this level. And then if it breaks below this one, then we're looking at 113.59. And that would be like a 30 pip, 40 pip move. 30 pip. I'm saying 30 pip. I'm looking for 20 out of this thing. Let's see. It's got one more minute on the 10-minute time frame. Once you settle below that level, you're done. Treacherous. Going back to retest. Let's see what's in play. Euro New Zealand should be in play as well. The Euro Yen should be in play. We're going to wait and see this one play first, because this is the leader of the pack right now. And even the Euro Pound should be in play. Okay, we're at the 10-minute now. So it closed right at it. Pound New Zealand, yeah, right. We looked at you earlier, buddy. You didn't give us what we were looking for. So now you're going to have to beg for our attention. Come on, come on, come on. Let's see how you play. This is where this price level becomes very important, because they either have to rebalance their book or not. And this is where patience is a virtue. All right, we're at break even. Let's see how this one trades. Formed a pivot here, but this is a 3-minute. 3-minute isn't that keen on me. I'm more keen on the higher time frame. Let's see, how are you going to play? pull up the data box and see their volume here. 66 million to 42, so they offset. This one was pretty much break even. This one, they really sold. This one, they really pushed. This one didn't have much volume. Interesting. And this one right now, whoa. This one had more volume, but they should have done more. And this one just isn't giving it up quite yet. Those price levels are really key. If you can identify those price levels, then you have them. They don't have you. This is a chess game. You know, it's psychological, it's mathematical. Every factor and component you could possibly think, they're going to use to mess with you. But if you map out the trade, you will see them respect those price levels very aggressively, because their algorithms do not want to create what I call above this level a buying frenzy. Because if they do, what will happen is that they'll trigger every algorithm out there, and it will create a buying frenzy. So they'll trade enough around it to try and induce the retail market and smaller banks or other banks to take the hit here before they drive it. But there's usually one bank that's leading the pack. I'm not interested in which bank it is right now. I really could care less. I'm more interested in how they're going to trade around that specific price level. And right now they're pretty much telling me what they're doing. So if it continues to trade below 113.83, then I know at that point that they pretty much decided to short it. Let's take a look at the 10-minute on this one now. Holland, Merkel to meet with Putin on Friday. Oh, that'll be a doozy. Really? Right with non-farm payroll? Oh, being that said and done, I'm going to open up the room on Friday earlier. Normally we open it up at 9 a.m., but I'll have it open at around 8:15 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay, let's see how you play here. What are you going to do? Because I'm not going to give you too much. So I want to see what you're going to play. Let me see the volume here. Data box. 202 against 177. So they did offset. 210 against 204 on the negative side. So they did offset their orders. I'm only going to give you one more pip, so you better take advantage of it. Let's see what you do. Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to do, you treacherous. See, it came and hit this level again, right at it. He knows that if he breaks above it, he creates a buying frenzy. But if he holds it, it's just enough to trick people to go long and then for them to go short. But I need them to come down further. So we'll see. We'll wait on this one. this one's in play. Based on the news and everything, we're going to see how it reacts. My risk is very minimal here, but the potential could be very strong. Because if it comes down from 113.83 to 113.20, that will be a very, very good trade. Let's let you play. It's evenly matched, 87 million long, 87 million short. Come on down, come on, pull back. There it is, keep pulling back. Keep pulling back. Yeah. No, come on, keep pulling back. There's no way that you're gonna trade along, not with the bad news that you have in your plant in your backyard. Come on, pull back. We'll see. Nothing in the news right now. All the news is over. The only thing next is the bank rate from the Bank of England. So nothing else should interfere at this point except pure price manipulation by the market makers. Trying to spook the short holders, yeah, indeed. Let's see this next candle. And that's true. Makes sense because, they don't really, they hated the fact that it went to 111.50 with the Swiss National Bank carnage, because that's what it was. And they've been trying to hold this 113 level pretty aggressively, but they've failed pretty miserably at doing so. So it'll be very interesting to see right now if they make that power play, and if they have the reasoning to do that power play when everyone else is bidding against them. And the volume could be just driving them short, and they don't have much of a choice. But if they were short, if they went long and they saw that there was no more takers on the upside, they need to rebalance their book in order to short this thing, so they may not be done offsetting their orders. That's where this becomes a waiting game. Don't like the way this candle settled, especially on the 10-minute. You see the volume on this thing. Yeah, see 135 to 124. They sold less. And there was more demand. And this one is 34.17. They're still selling less. There's more demand to buy. That's not a good thing. This thing could go up from this point. Yeah. Let's see. What are you going to do? Because you're playing around this price level again. And if you don't break, then you got to come down. Don't let the nerves kill you. There's no need to be nervous. You just have to let them play it out. And this price level right now is very important. 113.97. $79.46, 33 positive. Why aren't you exploding? Is my next question. So if you pull back down aggressively, then you're done. And here we come. Come on. Pull back. Pull back. 86 million, 88 million against 57. No one is selling to them. They're still holding there. 90 million. 92, 94, 96. No, they moved too aggressively. It's time to pull. They're going to drive it up. Oof. No, they drove it up. Not a good trade. Yeah, no, sometimes you just have to pull out. I was waiting for them to not to break above this level, but they broke too aggressively, and I knew at that point it was time to get out. And they're going to come up to this level here, and possibly this level here, 114.46 max. But this is the one that looks like they're not going to be. If they break above this, then it's got a good run to the upside. You know, sometimes you just have to walk away. So I'm only down 15 pips for the day. Not a tragedy. Let's see if they hold that. No, that's pretty much it. Can't really go beyond. Let me see the pound dollar, because that one's the next one that's going to be setting up for the rate announcement, and I want to see if there's any. Oh boy. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Give it a second. They drove the pound dollar up. What are you guys setting up? Are you guys setting up to go short? Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Now what they could be doing is they could be driving these things up long because they know they're going to have to come down with a trade balance announcement. But I don't like to speculate. I like to see setups, and if I don't see them, It just doesn't work sometimes. Yeah, see, this one's set up really early. This was 2:30 in the morning. They held it, and then they moved it from 151.96 to 152.45. But now, why would they drive it up unless they've got something else planned based on the rate announcement? They must know something that we don't, so we're going to have to wait it out. Oh yeah, this is, yesterday's day was really great. I mean, I made 200 pips yesterday. I've only given up 15 pips today, which is really minimal. Now I'm going to have to wait for the Bank of England. What we'll do, we'll take a break. And if you guys still want to stay around, then we'll reconvene. When's that announcement coming out? Let's see. Dun, 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 7 a.m. Eastern Time. So what we'll do is that we'll reconvene in an hour. And we'll see if there's anything that sets up, and I think that we just may find our trades at that time, right before the rate announcement. So I'm going to take a break, stop the recording, give it a second. This is the pound yen. They haven't set, they set this level here, but it's not, I'm not that keen on this one. No power dots on this one. So this one doesn't give me any anything to be excited about. Where the pound Aussie and the pound New Zealand already have. Or at least they're starting to set up. The pound New Zealand is starting to set up. Let's see the pound dollar. Miserable European Central Bank. They ruined our trades. Yeah, see here, they formed them here and here, nothing here. So if they do come back, it'll be interesting to see how they play around these levels. So let's mark them. Let's mark them. And this one here. Okay. So this one's marked. And we'll see how they play. And they drove it long. It'll be interesting. Alright, let's take a break for about a half hour. So this is where it gets interesting, because we still have a half hour and we have two pivots here. So I like this trade long actually from this point. They were going to break above this level right at it. Question is, how far are they willing to take it? And I just don't feel comfortable with some of these trades right now. Let me go to the 30-minute. Give it a second. European Central Bank, bunch of idiots. Let's take a look at the volume here. See how they played. Okay, 550 million long, 469 million. This one here has 389. Okay, the volume's getting lower. 389, 334. And they closed above it. And this one, they're still setting up, nothing extravagant yet. The fact that they're trading around this price is significant, but the fact that they've tested it 1, 2, 3, 4 times down is also significant, and there's another price level right here. So I'm more inclined at this particular moment that this thing will probably go short. But I need to see some verification. Britain re-examines, confirms talks with Ball Corp. Premium, bid would be, okay. The only two pairs that make sense to me before the announcement are the pound Aussie and the pound New Zealand. The British pound itself does not. Now, the fact that they've come up to this level again and that they haven't breached above it is interesting, but we still have yet to see once we get closer to the announcement. Because you can see here, every time they've come up to hit this level, they go short. And if they break it, they go long, of course. You can see how they've played this little game here. So we'll see how it plays in between before the announcement. The trend stops are moving to the downside. The trend dots are still down, but this retracement is something that I'm just not trusting. Let's see New Zealand. Sometimes if you don't have the power dots identify on the 15:10 or the 20-minute prior to an announcement, it also signifies that the move may not be that significant. Now they did do it right here. Right here is where they've been playing. So it will be interesting. Even though they came up, they're still playing. These dots formed here and these formed here. So this is a safer trade from. It's hard to say safer trade. There is no safe trade. And actually what this is telling me is that this is confirming the levels that make more sense. The price levels that they won't breach before an announcement. And if that is the case, then at that point, then you have something to really, really consider. Now, here for instance, we can see that very clearly. We can, we also see on the higher time frame they formed this level here. This was on the 30-minute, and this one right now just formed. So this is giving me an indication that more likely they'll sell it. But I don't see that same confirmation in the Aussie dollar. And sometimes it's one currency pair that'll give it to you, and that's the one that'll make the most impact. So we'll put it to the test. Look at the pound yen next after this. Yeah, see, this one here, they already started trading down, but they're pulling up. I don't like that. Where the pound Aussie is up here, this one, the pound New Zealand is already up here, this one's here. But we'll set it up, because if they come up to test this level, then at that point we'll know that their intention is to short. Right now we can't really say that. But they are trading below this, they are holding it above this, right at this level. So we'll see. Like I said, sometimes they go right up to the previous high of the day before coming down on our news announcement. And that's also interesting. So we've identified this level and this level in this time frame. So we'll see if this actually comes up to this level. Let's take a look at the pound yen. See if we have anything of interest there. Give it a minute. Out of all the trades, the pound New Zealand is the one that looks the most favorable. See this one, we don't have anything confirming here, nothing. I'm just not comfortable with this one. We only have this on the higher time frame, 178.78, if they break below it, but I just don't see them doing that. Pivots here, 2 pivots here. Yeah, this one, I'm not comfortable with this one either. GBP USD. You just have to be comfortable with one. One is all you need. They can spike up or down, exactly. So when you don't have that confirmation, it just doesn't. And normally there'll be two that will confirm, and we don't have that. See, this isn't right here. I mean, they're holding this level, but again, we don't have any confirmation here that they're going to come down at all. And I don't like that. I won't take a trade unless I have confirmation. Sometimes that's more valuable. It's better to be safe and not sorry. Never let emotion get between you and a trade. Yeah, see, nothing. I don't have any confirmation on this one either. Even though it's holding at this level, and historically it's held at this level, but they could spike up and then come down. And I just don't, just not giving me. Unlike this one's really set up. The pound New Zealand looks much better than all of them. And you've got one thing in common in this pair, that is identified 3 levels, and each time they trade below those levels. See? This level here in the 30-minute, this level here, this one here, and they're trading right below. I mean, it's just, one thing after another. But right before the announcement, you just gotta wait. And see, they're trading below this level now. So it starts to become very interesting how they play this. But they're still trading between this level and this level. So you gotta wait. Have to wait. See the volume. The volume may tell us something. Okay, so at this level, 37 million, 29 million. Aussie, New Zealand, let's see, play. US CAD, I'm not interested in those right now. CAD Yen, I won't be distracted by those. The rate announcement is on this one. And it's holding. Yeah, no, you can't guess on an announcement. If you don't have all the right levels of confirmation, you can't take the trade. That's just being responsible, not reckless. We don't do reckless. No, I just don't see it. I mean, I see it here on this one, 15 minutes beforehand, but I don't see the other. I'll mark this line down as well. Actually, no, we'll do a line. See the volume. See, there wasn't much volume here. That's another thing. This one there's quite a bit, and they pulled away pretty aggressively, but here it's like, nope, not comfortable. All right, what in the world do you want me to analyze? Let's take a look at that euro. Curious about that euro USD again. The only one out of all the pairs with the British pound is that one. Actually, we'll take a look at the euro pound as well. That one may give us another hint. Now they decide to come short. Treacherous. Yeah, they hit this low, right? Exactly. Let's take a look at the euro pound. Euro pound should be interesting. We'll see if we have something. Pound's getting stronger in this one because the euro's crashing, but the pound is still weak even on this one. That's interesting. Let's take a look. We'll see something. See if there are any similarities. Soon, soon, soon. See, this one's trading right below that level. Pound is weak on this one as well. Interesting. Let's take a look at the PUSD. We're almost there, 10 more minutes. And then we'll see what they do. So Putin has Asperger's syndrome. What is Asperger's syndrome? Yeah, I just don't like this trade. However, they all seem to be showing the British pound weakening across the board. But that can be deceiving as well. Actually, well, the CIA is saying that they have that. There's no comment on the KGB or Putin yet. It'll be interesting to see what type of commentary he has. Japanese yen. And then we'll stick with the pound New Zealand. I like the pound New Zealand more than all the others. Give it a sec. Sorry for the delay, but GoToWebinar takes a lot of memory. See, this one, they use this level, and even though we don't have power dots here, but it's the same concept pretty much. You have price action has defined weakness in the British pound. It's the volume that we just need. This one doesn't give a clear picture the way this one does. I think this is the one that we look for. Now sometimes they choose a pair and it's the one with least resistance. The decision's already been made to rebalance that one aggressively. And that may be the case with this one. That just might be the case. Yeah, we're going to stick on this. We're going to stick to this one. This one looks cleaner. If it were to, see, if they made a move, it would come up and then down. And they'd come right back to 2.048. But we have to wait and see. 6 more minutes. We'll see how they manipulate their volume. That'll be the interesting part. There's nothing like seeing their motion behind the trade. And when you understand order flow and how they manipulate it around certain price levels, which is how they mapped out their plan of action, then you no longer fear the trade, you look forward to it because you start to understand what they're doing. Let's see. Use the pointer. Yeah, see, they're not really moving a lot of volume right now. They're sort of, there's demand to buy more than there is to sell at this price level. What I don't like is that the trend stop has started to move to the upside. That I don't like. It feels to me that they could come down, test it, and then jump. So we'll see. We'll see how they play it. At least we've isolated these levels, which are the most important ones. So we'll see how they play the trade. If they hit this level and then bounce from it, then I'll take it long. But I want to see, because it's right in the middle of the range. So they can play the spike. They can spike up or down. And that's why before a news release like this, sometimes it's better to be flat. It'll be interesting, non-farm payroll this Friday. Usually there's 2 to 3 good trades that's set up before everything else is announced. Let's see, a type of volume. 30 million to 23. So not quite a lot of volume right now. See, here it comes. And this can be their way of inducing traders to go short, and then they go long. This is telling me long right now. So it depends on how they come up to this price level right before the release. Especially with 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes to go is very significant. Let's get ready just in case. We'll see how they hit this thing. $39 million long, 30 million short. See, look at that bearish candle with bullish volume. Doesn't really make sense. It doesn't add up. 1 minute to go. And I still don't feel comfortable shorting this thing, because there's more bullish volume in this candle than there is bearish volume right now. Let's Sometimes in a news release or right before one, that can make the difference. So we'll see right now what these guys have to say. But I'm not ready to take a position. I see there's more bullish volume right now, 46 million against 33 million. There it is. Let's see. What are you going to play? See, it didn't really do much of an impact. Normally there's a big impact, and this just didn't play. But there's still more bullish volume than there is bearish. Let's see what the announcement was. See, when it doesn't set up that way, normally the announcement is really just, let's see. Yeah, see, they kept it even. They didn't change anything. And that's reflecting on the trade right now. So there was nothing really to look forward to. Well, sometimes it's better to be safe and not sorry. Let's see if anything happened with the USD. Yeah, sometimes when the setup isn't there, it's just not there. And normally they'll display power dots in that price level when they're aggressively going to move it before a news event. They didn't do it this time. That's why I wasn't too keen on getting positioned. It didn't make sense. Yeah, see, nothing. Nothing on the pound dollar. We look at the Japanese yen. You'll see the same thing. They made us wait for nothing. That means that Friday is going to be very interesting. Let's see. I'm not interested in analyzing you right now, buddy. You didn't give me what I was looking for. Yeah, see, nothing. Now the fact that it's trading at or below this level, but no, I still wouldn't feel comfortable shorting it. I still think that it's got one more leg to the upside. No, not feeling it. PAUD. Let's see this one. Yeah, they maintain the benchmark rate at 0.5%. I had an idea that they were going to change anything. Because normally, if they are going to change something in the rate, they will set up for it very aggressively. And it just wasn't here. See, the pound Aussie also reflects it. So no. Nope, sorry my friends, no trade today. We'll have to cut it short. Actually, it's been a very long morning. And I will see you guys Friday morning. Make sure you go to the website if you want to sign up for the morning session. I will be opening it up earlier. Just click here, free trading room, register, and you'll be able to register for Friday's session, and we'll see what non-farm payroll brings. I'm actually normally we open it up at 9 a.m. Eastern time, but I'm going to open it up at around 8:20 a.m. Eastern time, right before the news announcement. So thank you for joining. Yeah, sometimes when there's no trade, there is simply no trade, and you have no business taking one because all you're going to do is just get hurt in the process. It just doesn't make sense. So if anything, you've learned that today. I wish you a very, very good night, and if you guys have any questions, you can email me, and I'll put down my email. Or you can reach me at my Skype. My Skype is or you can call me, but do not call me for the next 7 hours because I will be resting. So have a great one, and we will see you soon. Take care now.